style to that of Zest. Anyhow, getting right on into it, Berlingrad to start things off, and spawning over in the top left, representing Ting, it is Neeb.
And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have from Dragon Phoenix Gaming, the GSL runner-up, Zest.
It would be super crazy if in the first two groups we have not only the GSL finalists go out, but also the runner-up of GSL.
Yeah.
And I mean, it would kind of be to two North American players almost as well.
Yeah, it would be to two more North American players, absolutely, right? Because, you know, okay, yeah, I mean, yes, DQ eventually lost versus Trap, but he was down there because of Scarlet, and Trap was down there because of Scarlet, so yeah, it would be the North Americans showing GSL what is up, I suppose. Where's our North American Star League? Keep bringing that one back.
Absolutely, absolutely. Give them an extra slot, boys and girls, because these guys are bringing it this season, which is great to see, because, yeah, we had no idea about Neeb. He was a bit of a wild card going into it all, but already putting up quite a bit of fight in this group, taking out Zest in the first series, losing there to Clem, but now he's back again against Zest. And he was talking about how Zest is the scariest opponent for him in this group, but I mean, the way that he played against Clem, I don't think it was bad, but Clem really showed up here and then just didn't drop a map against anyone. I
know. Clem just sort of said, oh, you guys think my TVP's bad? Nah. Let me show you some like really good macro games. And yeah, I'll take a couple of disruptive shots to the face just to prove how good a position I'm in.
Yeah, isn't it a weird world we live in where Clem's like, yeah, TVC's that's what I'm worried about now. And then he just came out swinging in PvP. But this game so far, both of them starting off very safe and standard. There's no low ground gateway for the really fast expansions here. And yeah, if there's anything that I could say to Zest, if I was his coach, I'd be like, go for the far more standard game that you like. You know, get the Forge up, get the +2 on the way, get the Blink Stalkers out and about, because he's so good at that kind of stuff. That when it comes to the more finessey play, that doesn't speak Zest to me. What Zest is pure ruthless, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to see Zest just get kind of into some like nasty kind of 2-base stuff and maybe get feisty early on. As we'll see if they want to just expand here. We already had a sentry on the way out from Zest, of course, which means that he will have just a little bit kind of slow attack and a very fast Twilight Council from Neeb. That is really quick. Might even rush DTs off that, or just a very quick blink and then go from there. So we will see. Zest cancels up that pylon, doesn't really need any more information, and again, just getting ready to expand.
Yeah, I mean, the expansions come down pretty similarly for both these guys. Zest did whip out a few extra units here, and that's why his tech isn't quite there just yet. Just being a little bit safer. Will have that sentry out very quickly as well, or does already have it out, so hallucination will be on the way pretty soon. I am curious what Neeb does choose to go for, though, because I'm looking at the map. He does have a probe in the top, I do believe.
Yeah, just puts that blink upgrade down for now, though. As this hallucination comes through, we'll scout it straight away. I suppose if you try and go Dark Shrine, it's just a little bit too obvious, perhaps, because then the Twilight wouldn't be spinning already. That's a little bit weird. So you're just going to go blink to start us off, and Zest will follow up and just say, okay, I'll go blink myself. It'll be a little bit slower, but I've got a couple of sentries, so I have a bit more info. You know, I've got an extra force field here or there, maybe an additional Guardian Shield down the line, so yeah, you don't have blink right away, but that's more like 30 seconds of being a bit more defensive, and from there, it's kind of fine. And what's the real question is going to be is just one of them add the Forge or not, because the Forge really tells you just how aggressive they're going to be off the Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I remember speaking to Drogo a while ago, I was trying to learn a bit of PvP, and I was like, okay, when do you go Forge? He's like, when you've decided you're not going to die anymore. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's a pretty good one. It was a few patches ago, obviously, but yeah, both these guys going for pretty similar openings here. Zest being really safe with everything he's done so far. The early sentries for vision, just making sure he gets a robo as well, just to make sure he doesn't die against anything too cheeky. And it's Neeb with a couple of adepts, and obviously as a much earlier blink, he's the one that's going to be aggressive by the looks of it.
Yeah, makes sense. Get on the map and make use of your blink upgrade nice and quickly. Zest straight to that robo, and Neeb not far behind. So they are both playing just very similar, just slightly different ordering of things. When you look at the word count, Neeb is a couple ahead, so again, Zest just being that little bit safer overall, and right now he does need to be, as there's going to be the blink up into the main base, but Zest is positioned to deal with it, but the Adepts hit the natural at the same time, and now Zest doesn't know what to do. He's going to get rid of the hallucination first. That's definitely the right idea. Orbs in a couple of Adepts, has the battery. Okay, 3 probes down, but he was already down in workers, so now it's a 5-ish worker difference. Neeb taking a good early game lead.
You know, to say Neeb was like Zest is maybe one of the smartest players when it comes to PvP, everything that Neeb's doing so far, I feel he's cut the right corners, if he even cut them, and he's just playing smart. Like, he knew he had the blink advantage, kind of threatened the main there, but the double prong with the adepts in the natural, very solid all round, getting an immortal as well to fall back on. And Zest's gonna look to be a bit cheeky here.
Yeah, Faster Dark Shrine. It's a very European thing to drop like the Faster Dark Shrine down in PvP. I feel like there's a couple players who do it very reliably, because obviously this is foregoing your Forge, it's foregoing Immortal production. Now, of course, there is a robo up from Neeb, and Zest is playing this knowing, yes, there's probably potential for you to get detection out. It's more so an ability to kind of harass around, maybe get aggressive on that third base. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, right now there is not an Observer out as Neeb builds a second Immortal here. So yeah, the longer that goes on for, maybe these DTs do get a really scary opportunity, but this is going to be a Scout.
And you know what? Like, Zest has been cutting probes pretty hardcore. Like, I was thinking maybe just start up these 2 probes as he saw the hallucination fly in, maybe going for some kind of timing attack, but just slightly weird. Like, it doesn't feel all super streamlined for Zest.
Yeah.
And he's just fallen a little bit behind here without too much happening. But yeah, I just like everything that Neeb's done.
Yeah, no, I like it a lot as well. And I think now, obviously, Neeb kept on scouting. He's got that faster +1. He really does just have the advantages. 5-worker lead. Obviously, maybe Zest needs to be a little bit greedy, right? Take a third base a bit faster, something along those lines to get back in it. Or the Robo Bay, right? And just start saying, I'll go straight to Disruptors and just kind of play a little bit from behind, yes, but with the units that can help me out if I get behind.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, it's always one of those things. You go for the tech option or the eco option, and here he realizes, okay, I'm behind in a lot of ways. He does have his Forge up, so he will start that +1, so plans on the game going on for a little bit, but you never want to fall behind in upgrades in PvP, especially when they are pretty darn cheap. It's just a long-term investment, but still cranking out Immortals, and second Robo with this as well. 2 base, double Robo Disruptor.
Different.
Yeah, I was like, what do you think about this one? He's just different, mate, different.
Maybe you just never go to 3 base, you get like 2 Disruptors out, you hit with the +1, and you just make an attack. Like, that's a possibility. I mean, I guess you should just take a third, though, but yeah, I mean, it just doesn't really make sense to have delayed the third this much. Like, did he really feel like he was under that much pressure because he invested into DTs that did nothing? I don't think he was.
Like, he did cancel that Dark
Shrine.
Dark Shrine. Thank you, Audie. Thank you. I was about to say, like, a really weird word that absolutely wasn't it, but yeah, so he did cancel that upon it getting scouted, and so far a lot of his plans haven't worked out. Neeb realizing what kind of game he's in here, where he is a little bit ahead, but he has to keep the Disruptors at bay, because he never wants to fight on his side of the map against Disruptors, because that's when things can get super spicy. But here, I like the way that Neeb's just kind of posturing here aggressively.
I feel like Zest really believes that he's in a lot of trouble. He's just like playing super safe, again, not building any probes in preparation for this third coming up, while Neeb is blasting 3 at a time. It's rough for Zest. The longer this goes on, I mean, yes, you're getting Disruptors out, but you're really falling behind on the economy, and he is making no moves to kind of get back into that. I mean, I'm still worried because obviously Neeb has that +2 attack upgrade started as well, so that's going to be another upgrade lead at some point.
I'm actually getting a little bit worried for Neeb, though, because I think he's reading this game like, oh, this is going to go the distance, man. It really is. I'm looking at that probe count, and that third Nexus...
It's a fake, right?
It almost feels absolutely like a fake.
It starts 3 probes.
I mean, okay. Yeah, thanks, Zest. Making me look like a plonker over here. But, okay.
I believe it, too. Like, I really thought the best thing here was you hit +1, you go, and you just try and make something happen. But...
I don't fully get it. It doesn't feel super streamlined, but Zest is a phenomenal player, and this push, to be fair, he does have out quite a few Disruptors very damn quickly, it's got to be said.
Yeah, he needs his Disruptors to hit. Obviously, there's one Disruptor of Neeb that's trying to zone, is trying to find a connection. If Zest keeps moving, he will be fine there as he works his way around the top side, and I don't believe you can go down a ramp into this or anything, so Neeb getting more Disruptors up, getting safer and safer as time ticks by. And Zest still not starting his +2 attack upgrade or anything, right? As well as he really believes Neeb is like ready to jump on his army. Zest is playing so scared all game.
Yeah, and now he takes a 4th as well. So, like, he has been behind economically, and now he's choosing to kind of leapfrog ahead, and he is scaring Neeb a little bit with this posturing here on the map, which I do like. And they're both starting up, like, charge around the same time as well. It's just, when a fight happens... it has to go well for Zest. Otherwise, Neeb just counterattacks, marches across the map, superior upgrades, and he's actually... does Neeb now have more Disruptors as well? I feel that Neeb's just doing everything really good.
Yeah,
Okay, he's catching up.
5. Yeah, he's catching up. I mean, he should be. He's got like the extra workers all game long. Yeah, I mean, it's just been a really weird game from Zest. Here we go. Zest is pulling some money as well. Those Stalkers blinking away just about in time, and Zest is backing it up. Of course, the funny thing is they close in on being maxed out. If neither player really takes an advantage and they just both max, this game kind of goes wherever. And yeah, Neeb has a slight advantage maybe, but the longer the game goes, the less that seems to matter, right? So if Zest spends his money, he's not actually 30 supply behind. Problem is, if he isn't going to spend his money, then yes, he's kind of looking really badly right now.
Yeah, I'm like, Neeb's just playing a really solid PvP here. Like, at no point was I super scared for him. But that's mainly because Zest has been... Maybe Neeb's been showing him things that, like, right from the get-go, the really fast Twilight just being in his face a little bit. Maybe just felt that Neeb's just a little bit crazy, but we're looking at the whole picture, and Neeb's just sound and solid.
I like what Zest is doing, using a lot of his observer vision to kind of know where his opponent is moving, and just really working with those disruptors to try and find, like, a flank, try and find the hit from a weird direction. Like, if Neeb sees the rest of the units and he doesn't think the disruptor's off to the side, that can, of course, be deadly. And it feels like Zest is putting so much love and attention to that. He's kind of forgetting to build units. 2k, 1.5k in the bank. This could be it, though. Neeb needs to blink away, and he will. But Zest is now going to die for some disruptors. He gets one. Then he's going to go running away. But he's got to be a little bit worried about his Immortals. A disruptor, I guess, hit from Zest as well. And those Immortals in the end is now a recall to protect against these DTs. But you kind of meant to get detection here. The cannon's about to finish up, though, and there's the Observer as well. So that's a lot of dead DTs.
It definitely is, and we can't forget, Zest committed very early to the Speedy Boys on the Observer, but look at his bank. I mean, this...
spend your money. He'd be ahead in supply.
He actually would. He actually would. Like,
he could get +3.
Yeah, and look at Neeb. He's just expanding across the top of the map. Like, I don't know what Zest is looking at right now. Okay, going for the carrier transition here. A lot of warpins, but even with that amount of warpins, he's still rich.
Yeah, I mean, how many gateways does he actually have? He has 7. He could drop like 5 gateways and just be like very, very well off here. I get that he wants to go up to the Stargates, but I feel like having the potential to just build the the ground units is never a bad thing. There's no blink available. Massive disruptor connection from Zest. He needs to build units if you just kill your opponents.
I'm looking at Neeb. He's mouthing away to himself right now, kind of smiling, because, yeah, that was a mess up, man. Like, at first, when he picked off the 2 disruptors, blinked away, but then just stayed there with a few Stalkers, then moved back in. I was like, oh my goodness, he's really playing with fire. And all of a sudden, I'm not disliking Zest's position, despite being in a lot of trouble. Yeah, look at this. He ran back in. Yeah. That was definitely some misclick going on by Neeb.
He must have been really close to having blinked back as well, though, right? Like, really close. Oh, well, that's a bit of a heartbreak for Neeb. And suddenly Zest is like, if I spend my money on these carriers, I get maxed out a little bit. That's got to be good for me. +1 air weapons and +3 attack coming through. And I tell you what, these DTs have done not enough, right? Like, multiple DTs going down around that side. And that's what Zest has done brilliantly. He's really shut down that pressure and harassment. And, of course, he's doing all of this while not dying and getting those carriers. And that's going to be a problem for Neeb, who's just way behind in that part of the game.
All right, can we have a look at the resources lost tab in this game? Because... yeah, I mean, Neeb traded awfully across the board. 10 DTs have died this game. I mean, that is not healthy whatsoever. And despite the really good start and all the good build order choices by Neeb, just some of these combats, these fights just haven't gone his way whatsoever. Much to his own fault, actually.
Yeah, no, it's... I feel like Zest was almost putting too much attention to it at one point, where he was like trying to set disruptors, his money started floating up, but then it absolutely worked out. Neeb is going to get maxed, but I'm really worried that he's just not going to be on maxed on as good of an army, right? Because again, with multiple carriers out, that's going to hurt. And again, it feels like Neeb just doesn't quite realize that just yet. All of those disruptors on their own are terrified. 4 of them are like, no, stop, don't come near. Zest will give that up for the moment. He knows how dangerous that can be.
Did you see that animal just explode from that disruptor shot as well? That was hilarious. But I do love the fact that Zest started up that +1 air weapon super fast, +2 on the way as well. I don't think Neeb has much of an idea of what's going on. He's going for his own air transition as well, but by the time he even starts making carriers, there's going to be... in fact, how many does Zest have out on the
6,
field here?
I think. Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot to not know about.
Yeah, no, he's going to fly. He's going to recall into this, and then, well, the carriers are going to show up with the recall into the disruptor shots. I got no idea, Ben. Here we go. Carrier's showing up as well. Neeb's already blinking back, and now Zest has the flank from the other side too, but the disruptor shot, he kind of blinks into it. Neeb was moving in the right way. Those carriers still chasing and doing a good job. 15 probes dead from Zest. he's going to start going across the map because I think he just knows, hey, look, my carriers are way too powerful. And so Neeb is like, well, I guess I start base trading her. And he does have a lot of real estate to base trade with. So in that regard, Neeb is maybe a little ahead. Let's see what happens as the probes get blown up and this goes full throttle base trade mode.
And you know what? 4 Tempests at a time? If he can get out a few of those and then recall back to his main or something, maybe there's hope, but Zest, he knows exactly what the weakness is, and yeah, he's going right for it. And one pylon to power them all. That is...
the carriers go straight to, they're like, absolutely not. We know what you guys will do to us. Yeah, I mean, the advantage for Neeb is just the fact he's got bases around the map, so maybe he gets a chance. He's not supply blocked yet, and so maybe he can spend some more money. That's now not as much of a thing. Zest needs to make sure he does get some probes on the map, right? The last thing you want is to get into a weird stalemate. You can't win out because, well, you didn't bring the probes. He does have probes. He's got money for a Nexus. I think he's looking good.
You know what? Like, this whole situation, Zest's army is better.
It's massive.
Yeah, I mean, it is better, but look at how Neeb's expanding. Like, it felt like he was more prepared for this, right? Like, I don't know how good that top right base is looking, but I'm seeing so much static bait or static defense being made. What does Neeb have? I mean, that's going to be a fortified position.
That is, but of course there are disruptors to slowly chip away at that, so maybe that's not as influential, as obviously Zest is currently still working through the main base and he wants to make sure none of that comes back online. Hero cannon, getting rid of some stalkers. And with the battery there, might actually live for a little bit longer. It looks like Zest wants to attack top right, but now the rest of Neeb's army is here. I don't think you dive into this as Zest. You got to play this much more slowly. As he sends his first disruptor through, he was expecting the stalkers to blink back, but Neeb didn't believe in it. This one did kind of catch. The disruptors from Neeb will not do much. He's got 9 disruptors against 3, by the way, so massive disruptor lead for Neeb.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a ton of army, though, for Zest.
It really is.
He's at 21 probes, which, you know, that's really low, but it means his army's so much bigger. And honestly, if these carriers, like, taking those down against... I'm a bit surprised that Zest is splitting up so hard, though.
Yeah, it's very dangerous in case exactly this happens. This is where you need the disruptor shots. Those stalkers don't have blink. Massive connections as Neeb doesn't hit anything. Finally, he kills a disruptor, but Zest comes in from both sides. Oh, Neeb, I don't disagree. It felt like the moment, but Zest had it planned out. And yeah, I didn't think he had disruptors then, and neither did Neeb, because obviously the disruptors is what saved you in that moment. And my goodness, what a game one.
It really was, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I thought Zest was looking a bit like, oh, what's happened to Zest today? You know, like against Neeb, it's just nothing's lining up for him. But managing to get himself well back into that game, the initial disruptor shots on the right side with the stalkers. But yeah, it felt like, I don't want to say Neeb fell apart a bit, but yeah, very, very spicy PvP.
You know, he had such a good early game as well, right? So the start of the game was so good. He got into such a comfortable lead. You know, I thought, actually, it's kind of a boring game because Neeb's just ahead. Like, a lot of it's not making sense from Zest. But then Zest says, right, well, I'm behind. What do I need to do? Disruptor count got up. He really worked his way towards carriers as well and just made some really good army movement that allowed him to trade well. And obviously that left him to the point where he was just able to do very well. This moment was kind of scary, but Zest didn't get too overboard, right? He got 1 disruptor and then it was like, okay, that's enough, blink out. This was big as well because that's 20 supply gone in an instant. And that's really where Zest was safe enough to definitely start building carriers. And obviously they really were kings in this fight as, yeah, more disruptor shots, blowing up everything.
Solid trade, 1 carrier for your entire army there. But it was actually really good baiting by Zest because, I was like, is this a mistake, Zest, having all your carriers on one side with your army on the left? But nah, you had a few disruptors at the bottom there, just out of vision. Nicely handled by Zest, considering the start of that game, which, as we said, wasn't good for him. I'm wondering what the second map will be between these two.
2,000 atmospheres.
Okay. Like, I will never forget him against Trap on that map on 2K Atmosphere. I can't remember what tournament it was for. Might be an Asus ROG, actually, but it was amazing. Like, if Zest can play this style, where he doesn't go into anything too fancy and crazy, although the way that he did that, like the double robo into the kind of fake third, being 45 probes against 60-odd, like, it was a really bad start for him, but it takes a really good player to get himself out of that situation.
Yeah, we got the vetoes, by the way, where Zest just vetoed Blackburn. I find that interesting from the first series, of course. He kind of like, you know what, let's take a step away from those fast expand maps. I don't want to play those mind games. I don't want to give you the chance for it to go Stargate versus Stargate. So that's kind of intriguing with 2,000 atmospheres coming up. Let's see how things will go. In the bottom left-hand corner, he had such a good start. He definitely got off to the better beginning, but he could not close it out. From Ting in the bottom left, looking to stay alive in the tournament, this is Neeb.
And spawning over in the top right, one map away from making it out of this group, it is Zest. 2 groups so far, 2 foreigners making it out in first place, and the Koreans, it's not been too easy for them this tournament so far.
It has not. I think that changes tomorrow when Rogue and Dark show up, doesn't it?
Actually, I think so. Like, that group, I mean, Marine Lord and Special are obviously good. Marine Lord's been spending quite a bit of time owning up the Age of Empire scene, which is kind of cool, but Dark and Rogue, even if those two, Special and Marine Lord, were on their best day, that's a real damn hard group to get out of. Yeah.
It's going to be really, really tough. Got some great games coming up. Of course, Maru and Serral headline Group D as well on Friday with Showtime kind of coming in behind as well. It's going to be a good couple days of StarCraft 2. Definitely potential for the Koreans to step it up and take some first places. So that would be interesting. There's obviously just here early on 2 gateways each. Like we said before, it's no ramp up into the natural on this map. So this is just the gold standard. That's kind of what we see for the first couple minutes until we start to finally see some tech choices and how people are going to play this out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Neeb already with a probe on the map for his second pylon. Now, it doesn't always mean proxies or anything like that.
I think that's a fake.
Yeah, it can make your opponent feel a little bit insecure, a little bit like, oh, are you going for something cheeky, you know, like a 2-gate robo, 3-gate robo kind of thing. But in general, PvP has got to a point where you can be safe, you can expand. Maybe
the one thing I think you could use that pylon for is maybe a Dark Shrine, right? Because it's too far away to proxy a gate or anything, and he's not going to proxy a Stargate, would have been in position. But maybe you bring that probe back and like Dark Shrine there at some point, but that probe is now moving forward. When the unit's on the way up, that's going to be dangerous. As Zest goes Stargate before any unit, so his Stargate is very quick. And if this probe can realize that the second gateway unit is late here, that could be a really good tell from Neeb already.
Absolutely it could, and a little bit of a block off here. Didn't see any units so far, and he's like, oh, okay, what's coming out here? Now, if Zest doesn't reveal his unit straight away, because there would only be one Stalker shooting, it would be like, oh, what's going on here? But yeah, already a very different opening from Zest in this game, and Neeb going for the 2 Stalkers for a little bit of poke, just to check out what's going on, but then the 2 Sentry follow-up, meaning, okay, I really need to find out what's going on.
Yep. Absolutely, just trying to get those hallucinations ready. A couple of Stalkers here do show up, and he actually gets some good shots on Neeb. Oh! Well, Zest didn't actually believe that Stalker was going to miss Micro, and that's 1 Stalker for 1 Stalker. Slight HP advantage there for Zest, but yeah, this is just going to be a non-issue. It's a Stalker for Stalker. Oh, got a little bit wonky. Would have been great if Zest obviously continued to target down, but even he didn't believe it was going to get stuck. Yeah, both missed Micro a little bit, but yeah, these things happen. It is going to be the Oracle flying across the map with a second Oracle on the way. If one Oracle can't deal the damage, maybe their shield batteries up and stuff, the second Oracle definitely will be able to. But Neeb, does he have anything in position for this? I know he's building a shield battery, but this could definitely get a little bit dicey for the American. Yeah, battery's not done for a few more moments, and in fact, it's just not even close. In we go, and there's going to be a bunch of probes going down. Zest's going to take a crazy lead in this game. 5 workers already in this Oracle. We'll find 6 before it gets out. All of its HP intact. So it can join up with its Oracle Bro in a few moments' time, and then that's really dangerous. And Zest is what? He's behind the Twilight Council by, what, 20 seconds? But he's going to have 2 Oracles to keep harassing with. And Neeb's advantage is like a couple of sentries. I mean, great. They can scout, but still can use Oracles. Absolutely, absolutely. The trade-off, it's like you just have attacks in the sky available constantly, and then Revelations later on in the game. And the Stasis, they've been really good as well. And these Stalkers, a bit of misfiring there from the Oracles, but this is damage here, Wardy. I mean, I was thinking maybe he just goes for it and kills as many as he can, but already I'm kind of liking this for Zest, because even though 1 Oracle dies and half the damage done, that's 11 probes in total. Yeah, I don't mind it. You get a few extra probes, you guarantee you'll lead there. I think losing 1 Oracle is fine. You just keep the second for all that information it gathers, right? Because you do still want some scout, you want some info as to what's going on, so yeah, I love it. The blinks are pretty much even. I just don't see what Neeb does to get back into it immediately. It's not like he's going to have like a major timing. It's not like he's going to have a ton of units. It's basically like these 2 adepts to maybe try and do something. Yeah, and I even like the Oracle on this map as well. Like the fact that you got that massive dead air space behind the natural and the main you can poke out at any point. That just makes you really uncomfortable in Neeb's position. I got to say again, I love the mix-up on Zest build, because Neeb had no idea this was coming. You know, this feels like the first time Zest has actually taken the lead against Neeb today, like early game. Yeah. You know, all the games so far have absolutely been Neeb playing very, very well, getting into very good spots. These 2 Adepts will go in, but it's like, do you commit? You're not fully in the mineral line. The Stalkers are nearby. And Zest didn't really wall off because it's like, yeah, I can just kill you if you want to commit. So that's why you see the cancel on the Shade. +1 does start, and obviously that's something which, Zest is really not committing into. He's saying, no +1 for me. I'm just going to get more gates, get more units, and with the advantage that I've got already, he's absolutely looking to hit some timings, be very aggressive with these Stalkers, and that's why Neeb needs that Robo. He needs to get an Immortal out, he needs to get some defense running, otherwise he's in some serious trouble.
How many gateways are ready for Zest here? And is that a gateway on the left side of the map? I do see a blue splodge here. Yeah, Zest is going to be looking to be very aggressive in the face of Neeb, and this is the kind of thing that I think is scary from Zest, because so far, I do think his micro in these Stalker fights has been a little bit superior. Maybe just because, Disruptor killed everything, but yeah, he's been looking damn good.
Yeah, he really has been. And the thing is as well, especially now as Neeb starts to invest into like an Observer and so on off that Robo, I start to get very worried because all of a sudden you are not building units here. Neeb sees a 3rd base, but that maybe takes him away from the fact that, hey, there are Stalkers coming and they're coming fast, hard. It's a lot of army supply here from Zest, and it's a lot of just straight up damage output in his army.
Ooh.
Love a couple hallucinations though. That might be a bit of a game changer. There's no detection for Zest.
Those hallucinations, actually, that might stop Zest from truly committing, although you hit it and you kill it, and it's like, okay, I love those hallucinations from Neeb, just scaring Zest away a little bit, buying him time, because if they weren't there, maybe Zest just goes full-on, blinks on him and kills him. Great play by Neeb.
Zest does start attack up. He did get the Forge in the end. He'll ping that Immortal and get the barrier off. You're going to see a Blink Forward here from Neeb. I mean, this should just be Stalkers for Stalkers. I don't think it favors anyone in particular. And Zest gets out of there for the moment. Again, he's just keeping Neeb contained. Neeb can't chase down. Even when that +1 upgrade finishes, there's just a lot of Stalkers, and I feel like Neeb is really going to struggle to get the 3rd base rolling. And that will be a big issue if he can't get that up and running. And then once charge and +1 is done from Zest, he can really overwhelm with that 3rd base of his own setting up, although he isn't probing it up just yet. Good micro on that Prism as well. Do you think Neeb has a timing going across the map with the Prism, the Immortal, maybe +1? Can he do something?
I mean, if he can, it's the tightest window ever, because charge is on the way. Quite a few gates already from Zest as well. And at depth, there's got to be some shield batteries over there, right? And, even the Oracle trying to be a little bit cheeky here in the main base. And, yeah, those fights going on, they were a little bit deceiving, right? Because the whole time, Zest was setting up his 3rd and kind of containing his opponent. So it wasn't even just about the fights. It was the fact that Zest was getting ahead in so many other ways.
Only just started his probes now, though. So he's not actually been on like a big worker lead. In fact, work has been kind of even, so the 3rd hasn't had a lot of effect. Obviously, now it will, because he's starting to build probes while the 3rd is still building from Neeb, so this is where Zest really benefits from that. Neeb setting up into his Dark Shrine, but yeah, I think Zest kind of realizing, okay, my aggression is kind of just not really doing enough here, attacking up nicely and still taking the overall lead.
It's a bit of a funny game for Zest, because his vision was the Oracle, and that guy just got to sit behind the main and the natural, but he hasn't actually got to scout much, so he's been playing super safe or just super damn crazy. Ooh. So many Stalkers blinking in on top, takes out the Immortal, takes out the Warp Prism, the Stasis as well. Oh, nice focus fire by Neeb, stops it from going down, but so many Stalkers from Zest here, Wardy.
This just came out of nowhere. Zest was just like, okay, it's time to go. He's trying to get another Stasis down this time. Neeb not targeting down, it will go up. Neeb staying away from it for the moment. Can he send anything in to set it off? Maybe the Adept? It just doesn't matter. Zest just has